tie. They've played each other 5 times in cup competition, 1 draw and 4 Aberdeen wins so far. But meeting 6 is very different to the ones that have gone before. And Stephen McLean gets us underway at Celtic Park. The 4th time the League Cup final has taken place here. Rangers won the previous 3 against Hibs, Hearts and St Johnstone in 93, 96 and 98, and Johnny Hayes is already in the wars.
Johnny Hayes in the first seconds of the game, of course they're going to come back every ball, but right at the start he's went over, landing his shoulder. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, there's only seconds gone.
Challenge from Josh Meekings, who's a sore one. Johnny Hayes, who's been so influential for Aberdeen just in the last few weeks, coincided with Adam Rooney coming to Aberdeen, his former Cali Thistle teammate, but this doesn't look good for Hayes.
No, it is early. He took a blow, he's landed heavily on his right shoulder, but he's sitting up now and it looks as if he may recover. You know, it's a day for players like him, you know, cup finals, strikers, Billy Mackay, Adam Rooney. Great opportunity for these boys to make themselves a reputation, to put themselves in the history books, and a player like Hayes can be the man to supply that.
Really concerned for Derek McInnes and Tony Docherty, whom we saw there. He just signed new deals with Aberdeen on Friday, adding a couple of years to their contracts. Shea Logan with the throw for Niall McGinn. Good turn from him, looking for Rooney. Devine got there, and McGinn puts the follow-up past. Aberdeen beginning the cup final on the front foot though.
Yeah, well, they took the centre, they got the ball forward from the free kick, or for the throw-in that resulted in the fall that Hayes has had. They got the ball into the box, a wayward shot, but you know, a good positive start for Aberdeen.
Dons are victorious on this very ground. Just over a month ago they knocked Celtic out of the Scottish Cup. And of course have a semi-final in that competition to look forward to against St Johnstone next month. Cali Thistle went out a week ago today to Dundee United. They did steady the ship with a goalless draw against Hibs in the league in midweek to try and blow away the cobwebs. Back-to-back 5-0 losses for them it was. First time in their history that that's happened. They lost 5-0 here to Celtic a couple of weeks back before that United game. And this is James Vincent. It appeared just from what John Hughes was saying beforehand, it was either James Vincent or Aaron Doran who would take their place in the team today. Vincent got the nod. Hayes is ready to come back on for Aberdeen as Rooney gives it to Robson. First touch of the ball, one of the old heads in the Aberdeen team. Russell Anderson. Hayes back on, moving freely as well, just outside your picture. Anderson goes the high road, looking for Rooney. Reline Meekings. Rooney onto the chest of McGinn. Jacks, such a composed figure in the Aberdeen midfield. Reynolds. Hayes could make it work, and he really is struggling with that shoulder.
Yeah, it's interesting seeing the two teams set up, because at times, even already, Billy Mackay has looked quite detached from the rest of his team. It's important to get someone up close to him.
It's Marley Watkins for Cali Thistle. It's their first foray deep into Aberdeen territory. Waving shot for Tansey. Scored that wonderful goal against Hearts in the semi-final. Second spell at the club. Reynolds trying to shepherd Mackay. Raven back in, that's Langfield's.
Jamie Langfield will be happy with an early touch of the ball. He's now thrown it out of play.
Yeah, Johnny Hayes is really struggling. It looks like it could be game over for Johnny Hayes. Another serious blow to Aberdeen's aspirations today. They'd already lost Peter Pollitt in the build-up to the match. He pulled up in training yesterday, and this is the confirmation, I think, on Johnny Hayes' part that there's no way he can continue today. Aberdeen will have to make a change. They do have Cammy Smith on the bench, who I think is the most likely replacement for the Irishman Hayes. Well, serious blow.
Oh, I mean, for the lad himself, you know, it's tragic. You know, he started the game, it's his enthusiasm, he's going for a ball that probably he didn't really have to go for. He's ended up, unlucky, landing on his shoulder, and it looks now he's going to go off. What a blow for the team, but what a shame for the player himself, really a shame.
It's a robust challenge by Josh Meekings that has ended Johnny Hayes' game, and you can see he's visibly upset at the situation he finds himself in here. Cammy Smith is the player who will come on, the 18-year-old who was excellent against Dumbarton last week. He would have been disappointed not to start after his performance, but he's as good as doing that now. Cammy Smith on, just 5 minutes into the game. Shades of Ian Jess in his appearance in the League Cup final in 1989 at the age of 18 when Aberdeen beat Rangers. Mark Reynolds goes long. Aberdeen have to regroup. It's McGinn. His last goal came against Cally Thistle just before Christmas.
A simple ball forward from Mark Reynolds there, a knockdown, and sent a good centre forward play, set him up for a shot that maybe he might have hit the target with. But that's the importance of getting somebody close to Adam Rooney, like Billy Mackay. I feel as if at times, he's too far away, even already at times, from the rest of his team, whereas McGinn's getting close to Adam Rooney, and that's going to be important for Aberdeen.
Last time Aberdeen were in a cup final, they lost a player to injury in the opening few minutes as well. It was Jim Layton. It was his last game ever. The Aberdeen and Scotland legend. His career ended early on against Rangers in that 2000 Scottish Cup final, and that jinx has struck the Dons again.
They can't let it play in their minds. It's happened. The young boys come on, he's playing well. You've said it yourself. He'll make a contribution. He was sitting on the bench thinking he's maybe going to get a run out in the second half. Instead of that, here he has, with in essence, the whole game in front of him. So Aberdeen can't let that affect them. They just have to go on now with the same intent and the same determination as they started with.
Tansey finds Shinnie. Shinnie's an Aberdonian. Brother Andrew shows here somewhere. Former Cally Thistle player at Birmingham City. Watkins under pressure from Considine. He's dragged Considine all the way from his left back berth. Vincent wins the free kick off Ryan Jack.
I think he done well to win the free kick there, because I don't think he was favourite, and I think maybe the referee just was not quite con, but I think he done well to get himself a free kick there.
Thistle know they can blow the Aberdeen feel-good factor to bits today, and they know it. They've been claiming all the pressure is on the Dons since both made it through to this occasion. Josh Meekings takes the free kick. It's one. Cally Thistle head. Richie Foran. Flood clears it. Mr. Mackay. Again, he's managed to find Shinnie. He does love to get forward. Good covering back over Barry Robson. Meekings to Devine, who did get about 20-25 minutes together here when John Hughes made a change to Gary Warren off, knowing the two would have to play here in Warren's absence in that defeat to Celtic a couple of weeks back. Heavy with that touch. Now it's Billy Mackay. Not the ideal ball out to Draper, but it might still come. It's Watkins. Anderson's there, and it was a good job he was, because Mackay was waiting for the scraps.
Just a little bit of overplay maybe. Mark Reynolds caught on the ball, trying to play out for the back. That's what Aberdeen want to do, and of course what we'd always encourage them to do, but just a little bit, a little bit complacent. Caught the ball in a good break and an opportunity.
The first corner of the match goes to the Highlanders. Graham Shinnie with an outswinger coming up here. Langfield organising his defence. It's only half away, but McGinn's there for Aberdeen. Looking for Logan. Dons are so good in the counter-attack. One of the best in the country right now at that. Really challenged by Raven, but the pressure's off.
It was a decent counter-attack. They only got over the half-lane line, and then he was swarmed. Good recovery from the Inverness team.
yesterday. Those who didn't felt they'd crumble under the expectation of the sheer number of fans that are here. Mark, what's your take on that?
I don't think that was ever going to happen. I think, Derek's got them, tuned into it. You heard the players talking before the game. There's a real positive attitude about the team and the management. I don't think there's any fear that the atmosphere would be too much or the occasion would be too much.
Shea Logan, Flood. Jack assessing his options. Again, that was clever if he can get there. He was wanting a run from Considine as well, though.
I think he was trying to claim a little bit of obstruction there, but I think that probably the defender was entitled to, sort of try and stop him, and he didn't quite make the full distance to get by the ball. It was a great little idea, though, a little dummy, a little over and getting in behind the back four.
Another issue, Mark, with the substitution Aberdeen having to make it early is that if this game does go all the way through extra time, then they've got one less change they can make later on.
It's one less change, but Aberdeen will be hoping to win this game in 90 minutes, and I don't think they'll be worrying too much about whether it goes to extra time at this stage. I think that they'll deal with that at the time. I think it's a blow that they've lost a player at this early stage, an important player. He's a source of chances. He's a maker of goals, and I think that's more of a blow than whether they can bring someone else on in the last half hour.
Could be a long afternoon, not much between the teams. They've met 3 times in the league this season. 2 Aberdeen wins, 1 Cali Thistle victory, all by the solitary goal.
But it's certainly, Inverness at this stage don't show any nerves, they don't show any lack of a structure to their game. They've set themselves up in a certain way with Mackay on the point, and they're playing well at the moment.
Richie Foran through for Watkins, but Considine clears. Aberdeen free kick, foul on Rooney. Right.
Always a good place to give away a free kick on the halfway line, not too near your goal. When you make a little bit of contact, let the centre forward know you're there. John talked about the need to be physical in this game. They know that that's the way they play. They expect to make tackles, and the Aberdeen players can expect to be tackled.
Shea Logan on loan from Brentford for Robson, and now Smith. Pressing from Inverness so far. Long ball finds Rooney, back to Carrie Smith, who does got the ball at his feet. Up comes Jack, one straight to his left. It's not a bad ball either for Carrie Smith.
That was a fabulous ball, a great ball right almost onto the penalty spot. Smith arriving, maybe the wrong man. You'd have liked to see Rooney on the end of that. Couldn't quite get up high enough to get it on target, but a terrific break down the left hand side, a nice ball from Ryan Jack too. Andy Considine, and a great ball in, and the second chance of the game. Inverness in the first chance, now they're equal in chances.
Terry McInnes looking for a piece of silverware in his first full season in charge. He's not even been in the job for a full year yet, after replacing Craig Brown. Took the last 5 games of last season, bottom 6 fixtures, assessed the squad. What a job he's done in the subsequent almost 12 months. And by the towering Draper against Jack, he is an important player for Cali Thistle. He missed out against Dundee United last week.
Yeah, you saw him already, when the free kick, they hit the ball towards the back post, he was the one that blocked. He is a threat, and he is someone who takes up Aberdeen's attention in their own box, and could be a danger to Aberdeen this afternoon.
Anderson and Robson. Derek McInnes admits probably the best 20-25 minutes of football Aberdeen have played this season came at the tail end of the first half in Inverness. They were 4-0 up at half time in that game. Cali Thistle scored early in the second half, pulled it back to 4-3. Could have taken something out of the game in the end up. But there was a 20-minute spell when Aberdeen scored the 4 goals where Inverness could get nowhere near them. Chief Foran looking for Mackay. Easy that time for Reynolds. Again, and Smith, and Robson. Flood, they know each other so well. Logan, back to Flood, good challenge by Ross Draper though. In turn gives it straight back to the men in red.
They are getting close to Aberdeen, the Inverness midfield, but you know, like you said there, you know, he's done brilliantly to win it back and then pass it straight back to Willow Flood. You know, they need to keep the ball for longer, Inverness. They'll use up energy trying to get it back. They then lost Keto.
Robson, it's long for Rooney, it's too close to Brill. It's one thing Adam Rooney does get Aberdeen, though, it's that outlet, that almost, he's not wearing the number 9, but he is a classic number 9, isn't he?
Absolutely, you know, he does both things. He holds it up, you know, he pushes the back four back towards their own goals, you know, he stretches the back four.
It's not a bad ball from Josh Meekins. If Watkins can get there, not quite.
Yeah, you know, Adam Rooney playing up against the last man, you know, does force the Inverness back four to go that little bit deeper, creates a little bit of space between him and the midfield and gives opportunity to the midfield players then to support and to get forward. He is a very, very important player in the way they play.
Jimmy Langfield there with his 300th appearance for Aberdeen here in the Scottish Cup win. Breaks kindly for Vincent. He's taken Anderson and Flood out of the game as well. Taking on Jack, short for Foran. It's Watkins. He's in a corner. John Hughes watching on, hoping his team can draw first blood from this James Vincent corner kick.
This is where Draper, you know, is effective. You know, not only is he winning it, but he's also blocking for others.
Vincent surrounded by red and white on that far side. That is for Draper. It was a handball. It was off Draper.
I think it was a handball. I think that he was spinning. It was a little bit of a push, but it was a handball.
Aberdeen tried to break. Shinnie read it though. Foran goes down under the challenge of Flood. Flood protesting his innocence.
The game, you know, the early injury was a disappointment for everyone, I think. But the game has started well. I think there's played at a tempo. Both sets of players look as if they want to win the game. None of them look as if they're, you know, suffering from that thing that sometimes happens when there's a fear of losing a game like this. In this early stage, both teams are up for it. Both teams are trying to get at the opposition. It's going to make it a great game.
Josh Meekins for the free kick again. It's too close to the keeper once more. It was the same up the other end not too long ago. Brill and Langfield dealing with what's been thrown at them so far, albeit fairly simple cross balls. Who will blink first?
Aberdeen want to play out from the back, and Inverness are letting them come so far, then they're stepping on. And what's happening actually in essence is that then, likes of Mark Reynolds there, has been forced to play a longer ball. And it may be even at this stage that, you know, initially they leave that and let Jamie Langfield kick the ball, because, you know, it's after that first ball out to the back four that the Inverness are then stepping on. And that's put themselves, Aberdeen have put themselves under pressure a little bit. I would be letting Jamie Langfield kick the ball and start at this end with Adam Rooney.
Aberdeen's 28th major final, and that's a slip from Russell Anderson, but Reynolds is there to bail out his mate. Who's handling it better just now? Was it even Stevens?
I think it's even Stevens. I think that, you know, the tactic that John Hughes has set for his team to step on just over the halfway line to close Aberdeen down is working well enough for them. At times they have nicked it back. Aberdeen had been patient, they're passing the ball. They look dangerous. Aberdeen going forward, they look as if they're good in the counter-attack. So I think both teams have approached it in a slightly different way, but both teams have made a good chance. Both teams have had an opportunity to score. So I think it's, as you say, even Steven.
It's Watkins challenging again, resulting in the Aberdeen free kick. Every outfield Aberdeen player inside Inverness territory here. Ryan Jack with it. Good leap by Reynolds, stops them again. Trying to keep it going. Flood has got Robson to his left. Looking for Rooney, away by Foran. Jack. Robson. He's thinking about it. In the end, we try to clip it through for Rooney. Anderson having to be very wary up against Billy Mackay. It comes off the corner flag and it's worked in Cali Thistle's favour.
That's as simple a tactic as you'll see, a kick from the goalkeeper. I think they fancy Mackay's pace against Russell Anderson in that situation, tried to get him away. Russell Anderson held him up, but it's taken it from his own goal down to the corner, and an attacking position now, an attacking opportunity.
David Raven, Scouser, started his career at Liverpool, played a few times as well for them. Gets it back, finds Tansey. Raven again. Reynolds clears, Jack helps it on. And Rooney make his way through the red and white balloons. Robson. Control by Barry Robson. Angle it out towards Rooney. Devine takes no chances there. Rooney and Logan. Great turn from Shea Logan. It's towards McGinn. Considine trying to retrieve it.
Barry Robson, Ryan Jack already, an influence. You can see that one of them is possibly going to be the key to unlocking Inverness, to make one of these passes that gets someone in.
Robson wins it back. He was caught very late by Richie Foran there. Stephen McLean's going to want to speak to the Cali Thistle captain.
I think, he reversed the pass there, and I think it was that. It was his change of direction really that caught him out as much as anything. I don't really think there was any intent there.
Word of warning for Foran for this. There's no contact of note, but it is a free kick.
Yeah, but you could see, it was that he's reversed the ball back towards this right-hand side, off his left foot, and he's anticipated him going out the other side, and he slid underneath him, but there was no contact.
Jack leaves it for Robson. It's towards Reynolds. Smith back in. Brill comes, punches. And it's Masters up the line. Is it over? Aberdeen claim it was. Corner only.
Goal line technology, I'm afraid. It looked for all the world. It was straight in. It's come off the post. It's come back, and it's been Mead, I think, off the line. Good defending. That's what he's there for. But it certainly looked at one point as if it crossed the line. A free kick from the training ground. They want the same free kick from the other side. Big left-footed onto this right-hand side. There we'll see. Never across the line, I'm afraid.
Yeah, no debate. It wasn't over. Aberdeen come again. First corner of the match for them. Anderson back in, and then over by Rooney.
That was a chance. But, two good free kicks have taken. One right-footed out to, Colin Ryan Jack took it. The other one, Robson's taken onto this. Left-footed back onto this right-hand side, and Matt Reynolds has won both headers. Headed it back down there, and it's ended up in a great chance.
Well, this might just light a fire under this League Cup final. Not a great clearance from Dean Brill. He got away with one there. It was Anderson, I think, got the hook onto that, off the post, and Foran was there. If he wasn't, it was coming off the other post and going in, you would imagine.
Well, you know, when he's hit it, I thought it was in. I didn't think it was going to even hit the post. I thought it was going to hit the side netting. And as it came across the line, you know, he looked surprised, but it stayed out and he managed to clear it.
Russell Anderson scored a goal any striker would have been proud of here against Celtic last month in the Scottish Cup. Wonderful volley. He was almost at it again there. Reynolds with the up and under. Shinnie is underneath it. Robson. He's caught by Foran again. Well, this time Foran is going into the book. Well, Richie Foran was lucky not to be sent off against Aberdeen in midweek.
Like you said before the game about keeping your emotions under control, keeping your discipline. You know, you see him, his left foot gives way on the surface and he slips and he kind of slides into him again. Like the previous challenge, I think there wasn't really intent, but he's caught him more that time. A little bit unfortunate, but probably the referee had no choice but to book him.
He loves the games against Aberdeen. He was very nearly an Aberdeen player under the last manager to take the Dons to a cup final. Eb Scopedal almost signed him. There were issues surrounding Richie Foran at the time. Scopedal didn't fancy it, pulled out of the deal. He ended up in Motherwell instead before finding a home at Thistle. Aberdeen free kick. Robson with it. Doesn't find a teammate. That's unusual for Robson. Such a good left foot.
I think actually the ploy there really was it was that left foot called Bourne. I thought it was Ryan Jack that was trying to get round the back, but he was kind of blocked off by Draper and couldn't really get there in time, and that's why it ended up running out. But I think it was a free kick he tried to take, just that Ryan couldn't get on the end of it.
Terry McInnes thought his team had struck the first blow a couple of minutes ago. Russell Anderson hitting the post. Constantine was involved in that as well with a header. Tansy, Jack. We've got Devine.
I think Aberdeen are now 3-1 in chances. I think they've been half-decent chances. You know, the one that's over the bar from the resultant corner kick. The chance obviously has hit the post. Inverness have the ball across the 6-yard box, so you know there are opportunities in the game already. It looks like a game that we will eventually get goals from.
Inverness ball, Raven waiting for movement. Devine for Tansy. Shinnie. Meekings. Of course, could have missed the final himself. Josh Meekings had the red card he got in the semi-final win over Hearts rescinded, or at least downgraded to yellow. Willow, Flood. Logan for Rooney. Meekings takes control in it. To all intents and purposes, quite an inexperienced centre-half pairing. Perhaps on inexperienced and perhaps slightly harsh. Certainly, Josh Meekings' perspective, he's had lots of first-team football, but they're both 21. Devine and Meekings. Missing the experienced head at the back, Gary Warren. It's up the other end. The Highlanders goal with Marley Watkins. Mackay. He's down on the edge of the box and he's not happy with the referee, who had a good view of that. Here come Aberdeen with Flood. Tracking back by Shinnie.
That's a terrific recovery, but you know, Aberdeen on the counter again. Inverness really have to be wary of that.
We came off Flood last, clearly. There's a bit of retribution from an Aberdeen point of view, and the Thistle skipper Cammy Smith with a challenge at Foran, being told to calm down by the referee.
You know, we talked about when Foran was booked there, and he really has to be careful, you know, and obviously he was fouled that time, but he really has to keep his discipline, because it does not, they don't want him getting sent off.
This is Billy Mackay just on the edge of the penalty area. Foul?
I don't think so.
Flood tackles Foran, but it breaks for Draper. Watkins and Shinnie. Corner.
as he's about to cross it. Great movement from Billy Mackay, you know, a little sort of fade towards the back, but then, you know, darts into that front post area. If that ball does make it across, it made a terrific run. You can see why he scores goals. Good movement.
Thistle 3-1 up in the corner count, and it's going to be Shinnie to take again. Lots of movement. Almost fell kindly for Meekins there. Draper to keep it alive, Anderson for company. Divine. Not living up to his name for that cross.
Nothing divine about that, no. It was a little bit hopeful, but you know, again, you know, we'll go back to your question earlier. Is it even Stevens? I think the game remains, although Aberdeen have those best chances, Inverness are very, very much in this.
It's as tight as we thought it would be. Again, and Rooney. Pulled off Meekins, but Shinnie's there. Shout from Anderson. Finds Robson. Well read by Barry Robson.
Well played by Barry Robson. You know, he is this influence that Aberdeen need today on a day like this. A player that's played where he's played in the games that he's played in needs to be at his best, you know, to be a big influence in the game for Aberdeen.
It's Josh Meekins. Watkins, step away from Considine. He's done well to find Meekins. What's he doing there, the centre half? Good couple of minutes for Inverness.
Well, you know, we described Aberdeen as a team who are good at counter-attacking, but you know, that had the makings of a really good counter-attack, and they still got pressure on the Aberdeen back four now.
Marley Watkins arriving in Inverness from Hereford United. Spent some of his youth career at Swansea and Chelsea. Draper. It's good tenacity from Watkins. He's found Draper. Brilliantly read by Jack. Now Jack free of that hip injury he sustained at Motherwell. He came back earlier than expected. Just touch and go with her at the time, whether he'd be available for the showpiece. Robson. Rooney runs ahead. See the Brill.
It was a decent idea, you know, a little diagonal run, a little ball across the box. He's tried to just drop it short. He didn't quite get the end of it. He got a little touch went through to the goalkeeper, but you know, a decent idea. Divine last in the end.
Flood. Actually for that. Divine. Vincent. It was looked like a good signing. He was injured for a couple of months. And it's welcoming him back.
Yeah, he's found that little hole in there, you know, just in front of Mackay there, you know, just in front of Mackay. He's doing it well in his back four, even they're finding sliding little balls into him. A couple of times he's found a bit of space.
Mark Reynolds. Looks down to his left. And again, shoot by the Aberdeen supporters. He decides to just lay it off to Jack. Patient build up from Aberdeen. Shea Logan. Play by Raven. Jack. He's got Flood at close quarters. Too much on it though. Watkins comes across. Battling with Willow Flood. Well kept in by the Irishman. Smith. Again. What a possession here for Aberdeen. Can they do anything with it? Shea Logan. Play from him. Rooney goes down! Shaking the head from Stephen McLean. Goal kick as well.
I think the referee He's right here. No need to see the replay, but I think he makes contact with the ball. But I think I think he touches the ball and goes down. I don't think it's a penalty kick. I think it was a great decision by the referee.
The challenge came from Josh Meekins. 10 to half-time. A couple of big decisions from Stephen McLean in the first half. Shook his head to both of them. First major cup final for him. Awkward bounce for Considine. Allows Mackay in. Free kick. Pushed by Reynolds.
I don't want to be giving away unnecessary free kicks. You know, these are easy balls into the box. You know, Inverness, part of their harmony is that, they get Draper up there, they put a bit of pressure, a ball drops, a loose ball, and suddenly they're 1-0 down from an absolutely unnecessary free kick. They need to have a little bit more discipline in those situations.
David Raven over this for Inverness. Robson away, is that the best delivery? Robson again. Meekins on his favourite. Giving it back. Remember,
he needs to be really, really careful, because not any of the challenges that I think he's put in have had any intent at all, and that was really a nothing. But he has to be careful, because one of them he will catch somebody again. He needs to be disciplined. He really does. John said it before the game, and he was absolutely right. We don't want to lose this game because we're down to 10 men.
He's up against as far as the totting up period is concerned, though. Fouls. It's Robson next for Cammy Smith. He's the stronger of the two.
I think both managers will be looking at it at the moment, and they'll be reasonably happy. I think Aberdeen might feel they should have a lead by now, that their chances have been the best chances, but I think generally they'll both be satisfied that they're in the game. They're not showing any nerves. The game started quickly with the injury, which was a bit of a dampener, but it's got going since there. There have been chances at both ends, and I think it's a good cup final so far.
Yeah, it could go either way. Flood loses out to Watkins. Now it's Foran. A little bit too much on it for Vincent, who keeps it alive. Tansey finds Draper. It's Raven. Danny Devine. They didn't get it back. Not for long. Lost Draper. Jack pulled out with the tackle there initially, but Aberdeen get it back in any case. Smith finds Jack. Two from the Pittodrie Youth Academy. Another from the Pittodrie Youth Academy just longer ago. Russell Anderson. Russell Anderson's first season in Aberdeen as a youngster. It was the last time they won silverware. They won this competition. Here's McKinn going through the gears. Rooney to Smith. Robson. Tansey, it's ambitious. Build again. Andrew Considine. Flood to Robson. Little shimmy from Barry Robson. Didn't get power on it. Brill to flop down on the ball.
Yeah, he had to hold it, Rooney was following in, so it was a good take. Another shot from Aberdeen. Last 10 minutes or so, McGinn has become more of an influence. He's been more active, even when he's not had the ball. He's been more active across the front line. He's got on the ball a couple of times. He's come deeper, even into his own half. Once or twice, picked up the ball and set things off from there. He's becoming an influence in the game.
Again beaten to it by Raven. Vincent Draper goes straight to Cameron Smith. Flood. Just over 5 minutes to half-time. A couple of minutes added on. It's the injury to Johnny Hayes earlier. A minute anyway. Robson last. There was that 4-3 Aberdeen win in the Highlands, just in the build-up to the busy festive period. Game of two halves, as they say, and the two 1-0 wins, one for Aberdeen, one for Cali Thistle, either side of that. Jack. Last three League Cup finals have been pretty tight affairs as well. Rangers Celtic a few years ago, Rangers coming in top, then Kilmarnock beating Celtic the year after 1-0, and then 3-2 St Mirren against Hearts as Dean Brill flaps a little bit at it.
Again, you know, Inverness seem quite happy to leave Mark Reynolds on the ball. You know, I think maybe there he's crossed the ball behind. I think that Mark, you know, has fantastic pace at the back. He's a great defender. I think he needs to release the ball a little bit quicker. You know, get it out to Andy Constantine, get it into the midfield, let Ryan Jack or Willow Flood or Barry Robson deal with the ball, to pass the ball, to get the balls wide. I don't think he needs to be going forward too often from his position.
Ball from the Aberdeen supporters against David Raven. It matters not, they have the ball back. Fired forward by Reynolds, away by Meekings. Jack takes it down. Shea Logan for Robson. We can see already Inverness, every time Aberdeen get the ball round about the halfway line, trying to move forward, Inverness are in their face immediately. Pressing from the Highlanders when they haven't got the ball. Aberdeen can't hurt them from deep inside their own half, but as soon as the Dons get to the halfway line, that's when they launch their bid to get the ball back. Foul against Reynolds.
Yeah, it's that same free kick, you know, unnecessary. You know, you've got to be a bit more patient, you've got to be a bit more disciplined. You know, let the player, if he's facing away from your goal, he's going back towards his own team, let him go back there, force the ball back in there, don't give away these unnecessary free kicks.
Will there be an opener before half-time? Draper joining the attack, threat in the air, as are Devine. Foran in there too. Low kick. And a sore one for Anderson as well. No surprise, Richie Foran's involved.
You know, Mark has a couple of these free kicks that Mark's given away, Mark Reynolds has given away. I do think he has to be careful, because, you know, that's where they are a threat. You know, these balls get into the box, that was too wide, it wasn't really threatening the goal, but, you know, one of them they will get right, and they'll keep getting a sight of it, and they keep getting an opportunity to repeat it. One of the times they will get a good ball in, and one of the times they could lose a goal for it. He has to have more discipline in these wider areas.
See the Inverness fans up the other end of Celtic Park, behind Dean Brill's goal. 2 minutes being added on at the end. It's another free kick, goes the Highlanders' way. So we're 3 minutes from the half-time whistle. Graham Shinney. Anderson towering over Billy Mackay there. This is Devine. He seems to have handled the situation of the cup final pretty well. Third choice centre half for John Hughes' side. Josh Meekins. He was a trip by Adam Rooney, as he was. It's the confirmation of the stoppage time. If you are just joining us, Johnny Hayes went off very early, injured. Aberdeen have had the best chance of the game. He struck Dean Brill's post. And it's Inverness ending the first half pretty strongly here. Shinnie beats Logan to it, back to his feet. Shinnie's ball in. It's Mackay. Back towards Foran. Wonderful challenge from Willow Flood. Had to time that perfectly, and he did. But Aberdeen have given it straight back to the Highlanders here. Raven down the line for Watkins.
That was a terrific tackle inside the box from Willow Flood. It almost set his team off in a counter-attack, but again they gave the ball away a bit too quickly. But when the ball came into Mackay's feet, there was a little opportunity for him just to run over the ball, and it might have caused him all sorts of bother, but he took it on and tried to lay it off. Didn't really turn out to be a chance that they were trying to create.
Draper to Tansey. Watkins looking for Raven, stretching was Considine. Final minute of the first half. Raven. It's Langfields. And he sent Adam Rooney away here. Divine's underneath it. Smith goes for it, so too does Meekins. Mackay did well to get that ball under control. Greg Tansey, and now Foran. Tansey, get Watkins in behind Considine. There's too much on that. Stephen McLean's had a look at his watch and blows the half-time whistle. Derek McInnes heads up the tunnel immediately. He was faced with